All right, we'd like to call this meeting to order. At this time, we'd like to ask Councilman Gilbo to lead us in the pledge and Councilman Tabor to lead us in the prayer.
In these hard times that you're going to be with us, Father God, we just ask that you give us the guidance and the wisdom to make it the right decisions in these meetings we have, Father God. And we just ask that you protect this parish, Father God, and watch over us, Lord, as we go through this pandemic. We thank you, Lord, for all you've given us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please place the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Gilbo. Thank you, Councilman Tabor. Appreciate it very much. Hey, welcome. Good to see y'all. It's good to see some people in the audience. It's good to see the citizens out. It's good to see, for the most part, that we're getting back to some normalcy. I'd like to welcome Mayor President who just joined us. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it as always. I'll go ahead and get started. We welcome you to the Lafayette Parish Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I'd like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. If you'd like to address the council on any item that is on the agenda this evening, we ask that you please fill out the blue form or call 291-8428 to submit your information to clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given an opportunity to speak. We do have staff that is available for assistance, if available, if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to Council Clerk Ms. Veronica Williams, who is seated to my left, way left. You're right. When addressing the council, we ask that you come up and state your full name for the record and title. We do have a 5-minute rule that will be in effect, and no debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is used for media only, and we ask that food and drinks not be allowed in the auditorium. I ask that you also silence your cell phones at this time or electronic devices. Our meeting procedures are by resolution. They are not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, we as a parish council definitely encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If you're interested, we ask that you please call 291-8800, 291-8800. All right, we're going to move over to chair announcements. Please note, item number 10, JO-17-2020, relative to adjudicated properties. The authors have requested an amendment to add new language to this section, 72-19, preferences in disposition of property. Item number 11, JO-028-2020, relative to tall grass. The author has requested that the ordinance be deferred indefinitely. Moving along to item 19, JO-040-2020, relative to the Animal Care Center Advisory Board. Legal has requested an amendment to clarify the board appointments and the seats. That'll be item 19. Item 22, JO-043-2020, relative to BOZA. Legal has proposed an amendment to clarify the duties of the alternate members. There will be an emergency joint meeting of the Parish Council and the City Council following this meeting here. And for those tuning in from home or other locations, once again, you may call 291-8428 if you wish to speak. If you wish to address the council, we ask that you call in and make sure you get your information over so you can have a chance to speak. Please keep in mind that there is a delay when you're viewing the TV via the internet. We're working on that, and other than that, I don't have any other chair announcements other than the fact that it's good to see the community. It's good to see people here, and it was good to see our economy and stuff and people starting to pick their heads up and move forward. We still have a long way to go, but it's definitely making a turn, and I think we're headed in the right direction. Any other announcements? None on my part. Moving over to council announcements. Do I have any council members? Yes, I do. Councilman Tabor, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, I'd like to say that they had a miracle in Carencro today or yesterday. Jolie Road has been started the repaving.
There you go. Hey, pull your mic.
You can
Say that again, because that needs to be said.
The miracle in Carencro today is Jolie Road has started being repaved.
Awesome. That's a miracle in French. You say miracle. Miracle, yeah.
Miracle.
Exactly. Well, I hope to have some good news and hope that Jenkins Road is next because that was the next big one on the side of Jolie. So administration, if you can pull that for me, let me know for the next meeting. I'd appreciate it. All right. It is. I know it's on the list, but I want to make a speech like him. I want like a miracle to
You
happen.
need to drive out there and see that it's.
Oh, I did. I drove on here to get here. There's a wreck on 90, by the way, Cameron, and it's bad. So anyway, I did pass on Jenkins Road. Needs to be done. Councilman A.B. Rubin in the house. You have the mic, sir.
All right, thank you, Chairman. It's good to see everyone get into some type of normalcy. The one thing that I mentioned before, but I want to say again, the thing that I'm glad to see is, as you go out in the community, you see everyone pulling resources together to make sure that no one is forgotten. So I want to commend everyone that's out there doing that thing, be it little bitty things or big things. I would like to, from my heart to you, thank you for everything that you're doing.
All right. Moving right along, no other council announcements at this time. I'd like to go ahead and move to the Executive Mayor President's report. At this time, we'd like to recognize Mayor President Mr. Josh Guillory.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, there it is.
We live?
Just for the record, for whatever reason, when I go to hit Mayor President's mic, it doesn't work. It actually works on the CAO. He skipped a seat? Oh, okay. No, you're good, you're good. I got you covered. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it. I echo the words, your words, and Councilman Rubin and our fellow councilman. I definitely echo Councilman Tabor's. How'd you say it in French, Chair?
A miracle.
A miracle?
Yes,
I did
that's
that right?
miracle in French, that's right.
All right. If I could say that as well as you pull off that jacket, we'd be all right.
You should see the shoes.
That's all I could find in the closet. Everything's
it.
been at the cleaners. They've been stuck at the cleaners. I had to pull this one out.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you to our Parish Council, to our City Council, for your extremely hard work and dedication, especially these last 2 to 4 weeks. We have a very important issue that's approaching the joint meeting, and I can tell you, for all our citizens out there, you should be proud of both of our councils and our administration working hard on your behalf. So thank you guys for your hard work. I appreciate it very much. Nothing much on the executive report except I have a proclamation, Mr. Chair, and we'll hold off our Public Works Director just for efficiency purpose. We'll bring him out the next meeting. But a proclamation, last week was Public Works Week. So, whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city and parish of Lafayette. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Lafayette to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And now, therefore, I, Josh Guillory, Mayor President of the Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2020 as National Public Works Week. So, on behalf of the administration and the councils, we just thank all of our hard-working men and women of Public Works, and I think that can extend to the Department of Drainage and Traffic Roads and Bridges as well. So we kind of lump all of those departments together in this recognition. So thank you to everyone. So please keep them in your prayers. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have for the executive report.
Okay, thank you so much. Councilman Gilbert, I see you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for recognizing this group. Sometimes I feel like they're the forgotten group out there, and they don't receive much recognition other than when people have concerns and there's a lot of teeth gnashing and biting of the tongue and so forth with the individuals. I will say that my experiences with them under the new leadership has been tremendous. Every time I call, I may not get services right then and there, but at least they're very courteous, they're concerned, and they offer their professional advice, and I really do appreciate that. I see tremendous strides, and I know my constituents themselves, when we get things done, if not done immediately, but into the future, they're very satisfied. So I appreciate the recognition that you're giving to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay. Councilman A.B.
I too would like to say the same thing about Public Works. And a recent example is when the trees fell on the homes on East Alexander a couple of weeks ago. Public Works and our mayor president came out there, and a lot of things got done. And little did I know, that wasn't even Public Works area. He told me after the fact that wasn't my area. But he still came out there, and Public Works made some things happen and helped out those constituents who had trees all through their house. So I would like to say thank you also.
All right. Okay. That ends that. Okay, let's move over to the joint resolution. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are calls are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, can you please read?
Joint Resolution 11, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing and approving an amended and restated 457B deferred compensation plan.
Okay, I need a motion and a second to consider. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none at this time. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
All right, please call the vote.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. Motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, now move over to reports and/or discussion items. Jeremy, can you please read?
Update on existing recreation projects approved under CREATE funds.
Okay. This is one that, just to inform the parish, I had a meeting with administration and got to meet with Sidra, so I'm kind of up to speed on this, so it's not really a long discussion. Just if, Sidra, if you can chime in and give me an update from the last conversation that we had. And just to be transparent on this, CREATE a year ago or so, there was some funding available, and the wishes of Parks and Recreation was to perhaps spend $25,000 at each park. And so I got with Sidra and administration, and that is something that I think she's going to update us on. I think we can move forward. Sidra, your mic's hot.
Yes. Thank you very much. And in the event that Hollis is not making his way here, I'll ask him to do so from the council briefing room to make sure that I'm not misspeaking. But there was a commitment of $25,000 for some of the parish parks, those that are in the unincorporated areas from the CREATE millage. And so we are moving forward with a budget amendment, if that's what's necessary, to make sure that those dollars get allocated to those parks. That include the parks in Doosan, Karen Crow, Judy's, Scott, Arsenault Park, and Foster Park within the parish areas. And as far as a specific plan for what's going to be happening with those dollars, that is going to be coming forth from the Parks and Recreation Department. So we're doing a collaborative effort here between Community Development, who's administering the CREATE funds, and the Parks and Recreation Department, who knows the needs. The needs are great. We know that there's needs and then there's wants. And so we'll work to address the needs first, and hopefully, down the line with the other pot of money that you're interested in knowing about, we can address some of the wants.
Okay. So basically, just for clarification, do we need to have a budget amendment, or is that something that Parks and Recreation will give you the breakdown of what would be done? In other words, do we have to put it on the agenda, or we can actually get things going?
Well, I failed to confer with the CFO prior to speaking to you about it, so she'll have to chime in here. We were looking at the separate issue of the $2 million from the rededicated library millage fund. That required a budget amendment, so we were thinking this might as well. If not, we'll obviously expedite the process and not move forward, not slow it down.
Okay. Laura, you want to chime in?
The $2 million rededication from the library will require a budget amendment, putting it in the specific parks. The money that is already in the CREATE for capital outlay can go ahead and be purchased the way it's currently budgeted. If you wanted to be sure that exactly $25,000 was spent in certain places, you might want to do a budget amendment, but it's not required.
And the reason I probably want to do a budget amendment is just so that every one of these council members that have one of those parks in their district respectfully gets the same equal amount. I think that was the goal, to give a little shot in the arm, a little boost to those unincorporated area parks. So I'd like to go ahead and, Veronica, if you want to make, or just make a note of it to bring it back and identify those parks. And that way we can go back to those municipalities and, Judy, Scott, Karen Crow,
And you're looking for that in the next meeting or?
Yeah,
within?
I know it's not necessary, but I'd rather make sure that we're all transparent and every one of those, the initiative gets done.
Got it down.
And it's on the record, okay. All right. Okay, no discussion on that, okay. We're gonna move to the next one. Jeremy, please read.
Update on $2 million approved by voters for upgrading parks.
Okay, you just answered that part, so, but what I want to do is, we had a very productive meeting, myself, Mr. Carlson, Councilman Carlson, and the mayor of Broussard, Mr. Ray Bork, and Mr. Hidalgo, and I was wondering what had maybe held this from moving forward, and in the meeting, it was mentioned that it was a possibility or a thought that maybe the parish would want to consider getting rid of the parks because of the maintenance and stuff. So I feel good today after today's meeting that Councilman Carlson and I had is, everyone on here, it feels the same way. We don't want to give anything away. That's our assets. But at the same time, we're smart enough to realize that we're struggling as a parish to maintain these parks. So we felt like a partnership with the municipalities on some type of lease, long-term, where some of the $2 million goes in to those parks that was intended for, give them a shot in the arm, do some projects, capital projects, and then work some things out where those parks are basically LCG and the municipality. So we had a good meeting in moving forward. So I would like to, I know we had hit the brakes, COVID-19 came in, we just hit the brakes on the whole situation, but I think after today's meeting and Gerald Boudreaux was able to speak with him, I think it was a great meeting. It was really positive. It was a meeting that the city of Broussard and the mayor respectfully so know that we want to keep it a park. But, I think it's a win-win for the community as a whole. Not giving something away, but at the same time partnering up with our municipality, one parish, so to speak, saying, hey, we know we can't maintain it probably as well as you can. However, this $2 million was intended to divide that among these parks and do projects. So let's improve those areas, and in return, let's work out something that it can stay a park, it stays the parishes, but at the same time, they're helping us with all the maintenance, because that's exactly where we get into trouble. So I just wanted to let the fellow council members know, and Councilman Carlson's going to chime in as well, but I think now this administration and this council can start having these discussions, because I think the intent now from these other municipalities is not so much to own it or take 100% of it, but find ways to help us as a parish and help their community and their constituents have a nice park to be proud of, and I think we can do it together. So I'd like to just say that on the record that I think we can start having these conversations on what we want to do with the $2 million and how we work it out. And naturally, legal's got to get involved, and we got to make sure we can do it. But it's a good thing. I had it feels good. So, Councilman Carlson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would definitely add to that. I think everything that Mr. Chair said is accurate, and something I brought up today, and I know the mayor of Broussard's on board. I know we've had similar conversations with the mayors of Youngsville. They looked at passing a resolution talking about this, are formally requesting Foster Park. Something I brought up, and I know both municipalities are on board with, and there's some discussion back and forth today as far as the best way to move forward, but something I suggested was, if we have this $2 million that's dedicated to be spent between 7 parish parks, they're willing to say, hey, let us assume the lease in Foster Park's case, let us lease from the parish in Arsenault Park's case, but we don't necessarily need any of that $2 million, and that $2 million could be spent across 5 parish parks instead of 7, and then they handle all of it. Of course, they didn't turn down, right, $400,000. Nobody was saying that, but they said that they are willing to do that if it would help us accomplish more at some of the parish parks. while at the same time giving them the freedom and flexibility to kind of redevelop those parks to meet the needs of the community. So I think there's a lot of opportunities on board, certainly involving Mr. Boudreau in Parks and Rec, the mayors of the municipalities, and really the administration's input on how to best spread out that money. Is it best to go across all 7 parks, or is it better to focus on 5 and make that money go further? So that was definitely a discussion item as well.
Yeah, it was a real good meeting. I'm very, very proud to say that this parish council is moving forward, and we're having some great discussions, and it's working together, you know? We realize the limited amount of funds we have, so we try to get the biggest bang for our buck, but at the same time, we know the importance of the community of Broussard and Youngsville and Scott and all the other ones, that they would like a nice park too. They would like to feel like LCG or the parishes, hey, we're holding hands together, let's try to get through this. So let's continue to have the discussion and work on figuring those things out, and definitely get moving on where we're going to spend that $2 million. That way those people can start seeing some progress. You know, they voted on the money, they were told they were going to get it. So, and Parks and Recreation can definitely do that. Before I move on, Parks and Rec, I just wanted to give I need an update in regards to recreation sports. And I coaching and stuff like that, and I know with the COVID-19, if you can just give the public, those that are signed up with SATs or SWA or CSA, what is the recreation, baseball, t-ball, softball look like? The recreations are going to reach out to those parents that signed up, and like just any information you can give the public and the people that are in sports for the parish would be great.
Okay. Frank Wittenberg, Manager, Athletic Programs and Maintenance for Parks and Recreation. We issued a release last Friday, Mr. Boudreau did, that's effective now. We're trying to start re-registering kids for our youth baseball and softball programs, asking parents if they want to participate, those that had signed up back in February and March. If not, they'll be issued refunds. Those that want to stay with us, we're hoping some are probably a little bit further ahead than some of the other associations, so they may be able to start around June 1 with in-house play. Okay. If not, around June 15, we're looking to start with parish-wide play for roughly 4.5 weeks till about middle of July.
So those youth associations, are they going to reach out to the parents that signed up in February and March to say yay or nay, you want to still be in, blah, blah,
Correct.
blah? Okay, and their deadline to do that is when?
We're asking them by next week to give us an idea of how many teams they're looking to have. We're already starting to get some numbers from a couple of the associations. Okay. We have 5 of our 6 youth associations right now that we're anticipating will have some teams. Not sure if many of them are going to be in-house with 4 more teams in an age group.
Right.
So we'll probably have some parish-wide travel play, but it'd be limited for the 4.5 weeks.
So it'd be basically a very small season.
Correct.
No all-stars, I think.
Correct. No postseason, no all-stars this year. We're trying to get about half a season's worth of games in. So I know they're a little stir crazy like everybody else in the world has been, and get out in the public in this nice weather.
Gotcha. Okay, so those parents out there that have signed up either SWA, SATs, or whatever, it's a good indication that they should probably reach out to that organization.
If they have not heard from them yet, now's a good time to contact them. Most of them have their Facebook pages up or websites going where they can contact them. They can always call us at the Recreation Department, and we can give them numbers of names and people to call.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Rubin, you need
How you doing, Frank?
Good.
Hey, question. What are we doing to protect the kids? Are we implementing any type of safety as far as for COVID-19?
So we're reminding all of our volunteers through our youth associations they have to follow all CDC recommended guidelines for social distancing, as well as disinfecting between games, after games, before games. They're going to help us to monitor the crowds. We're still discussing some of the finer points about where we're going to have the kids when they're on offense instead of in the dugout, possibly in the bleachers instead of the spectators, and have the spectators bring lawn chairs and sit down the fence line to keep the distancing. So we're still discussing that, and also with other directors around the state from Parks and Recreation, we're talking about all that statewide, best methods, best practices to use for that, because they're all in different stages of where they're at trying to get something going.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. All right. That's the end of the reports and our discussions. I told you guys it wouldn't take long. All All right, moving to ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets or calls are available for anyone wishing to address the council. There is a 5-minute rule that does apply. German, please read.
Parish Ordinance 17, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $100,000 from asbestos abatement LPCG second floor to the upgrade parish government building elevators within the Public Works Department Capital Improvements Division for additional funding needed.
Okay, got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. Not seeing any council discussion. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call the roll.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5, District 1. Motion to adopt is approved. Parish Ordinance 18, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating and capital budgets of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by recognizing revenues in the amount of $3,331,858 received from the Federal Highway Administration for the LCG Roadway Overlay Program, State Project Number H012304, approving the use of existing funds in the amount of $1,001,776 for the required local match and appropriating within the Public Works Department Capital Improvements Division for said project.
Okay, need a motion and a second to consider? Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson. And not seeing any council discussion. Ms. Williams, any blue cards or comments?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1, District 2.
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, we're going to move to joint ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets and calls are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Please read.
Joint Ordinance 17, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, Chapter 72, Property Management, specifically Article 2, Management and Disposition of Adjudicated Properties, particularly Section 7219D, Preferences in Disposition of Property, and Section 7240F, Initiation of Donation of Adjudicated Property.
Okay, need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman A.B., second by Councilman Carlson. The authors have proposed an amendment to add language to Section 79-19D, Preferences in Disposition of Property. Anybody want to go ahead and make a motion and a second to?
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. Any discussion on this amendment? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment on the amendment?
No, sir.
Okay. Call the vote on the amendment, please.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
Motion to amend is approved.
All right, is there any council discussion on the ordinance as amended? Okay. Go ahead. Councilman Carlson, you have the floor, sir.
And it's really not for me. I was seeing Councilman Rubin. Would you like to speak about this? I know we've had multiple conversations. I think it'd be good just for the public to be able to hear the general idea of what this ordinance is for and what we're trying to do with this.
Councilman Rubin, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have troubles with this. Whew. All right, basically what this ordinance is in regards to is we're trying to basically protect from having slumlords. The ordinance before, you couldn't, if you got an adjudicated property, you had to stay on the property. You couldn't do anything else with it. Now we're saying, with all the blighted properties, you can purchase it now, and you're able to rent it out, or you can sell it and get it back into commerce. We put a lot of language in there, so that way, if we have a slumlord, he can't get property anymore, and we're making sure that you have to get the property up within 6 months. We'll be checking you every 3 years to make sure that you're in compliance. If you fall out of compliance, excuse me, if you fall out of compliance, you can't get any more property from us. If you don't have your property up and running in 6 months, we can go as far as taking the property back. And another thing is, the first people, you have to be in Lafayette to be able to acquire these adjudicated properties as well. So that's basically summing up what this ordinance is and the amendments that we put to the ordinance, because the ordinance was already in there, but we just amended a few things to allow it to be able to put these adjudicated properties back into commerce.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Rubin. All right. Don't see any other discussion in regards to the ordinance as amended. Ms. Williams, any discussion on the amendment or the ordinance as amended?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion to adopt as amended is approved.
Okay.
Joint Ordinance 33, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement as amended with the Lafayette Parish School Board to receive funds directed for the use in construction of Lafayette Transit System bus stop shelters and to amend the then current operative budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to account for receipt and expenditure of said funds.
Okay, need a motion and a second?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Williams, any calls or
No,
blue
sir.
cards? Okay, call the roll.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 34, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Parish Waterworks District North.
Okay, need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. Not seeing any council discussion. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Call the roll.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 35, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing and reaffirming the Transportation Policy Committee of the Acadiana Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman A.B. Rubin, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 1? Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 36, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Parish Waterworks District South.
Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson. Not seeing any council discussion, any comment?
No, sir.
All right, call the roll.
District 3? Yes. District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1? District 2?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 37, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the Parish of Lafayette's appointment to the Board of Commissioners of the Teche-Vermilion Freshwater District.
Motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Please call the roll.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 38, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council affirming the Cajun Dome Commission.
Okay, need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman A.B. Ms. Williams, not seeing any discussion here. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Call the roll.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 39, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the Industrial Development Board of the Parish of Lafayette, Louisiana Incorporated.
Okay, need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by all council members? Second by all council members. Motion by Councilman Gilbo and second by Councilman Carlson. No council discussion. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Roll them.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 40, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Animal Care Center Advisory Board.
Need a motion? Motion by Councilman Tabor. Need a second? Second by Councilman Gilbo. Legal has proposed an amendment to clarify board appointments and seats. Anybody would like to make that motion in second? Councilman Carlson makes a motion, and second by Councilman Tabor. Any discussions on this amendment? Not seeing any. Ms. Williams, any comment on this amendment?
No, sir.
Okay. Call the vote on the amendment.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 1?
Yes.
Motion to amend is approved.
Okay, any council discussion on the ordinance as amended? Seeing none. Any comment on the ordinance as amended?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 1? Motion to adopt as amended is approved. Joint Ordinance 41, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the Municipal Civil Service Board in accordance with Section 415 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Home Rule Charter.
Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Carlson. Second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Call the roll.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 42, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the Downtown Development Authority.
Okay, need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor. Second by Councilman AB. No council discussion at this time. Ms. Williams, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Phone calls?
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 43, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Board of Zoning Adjustment.
All right, need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. Legal has proposed an amendment to clarify the duties of the alternate members. I need a motion and a second to consider that amendment. All right, motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman A.B. Rubin. Not seeing any council discussions on this amendment. Ms. Williams, any blue cards, phone calls, emails, text messages?
No, sir.
All right. Please call a vote on the amendment.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to amend is approved.
All right. I'm not seeing any council discussions on the ordinance as amended. Is there any public comment in regards to?
No, sir.
All right. Call the roll.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt as amended is approved. Joint Ordinance 44, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board.
Okay. Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson. Not seeing any council discussion. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Okay. Call the roll.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 45, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the North Lafayette Redevelopment Authority.
Need a motion and a second? Motion by AB, second by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Okay. Call the roll.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 46, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Keep Lafayette Beautiful Board.
Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson. Any comments? Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any comments, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 47, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the members of the Board of Trustees of the Lafayette Public Trust Financing Authority.
Okay, need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor. Second by Councilman AB. No council discussion. Ms. Williams, any comment, phone
No,
calls,
sir.
emails? Okay, we're good.
No, sir.
Call the roll, please.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 48, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the members of the Board of Trustees of the Lafayette Public Innovation Alliance.
Need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Not seeing any discussion. Ms. Williams, any comments?
No, sir.
Call the roll.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 49, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Airport Commission.
Okay. Motion and a second, please. Moved by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Not seeing any council discussion. Ms. Williams, please let me know if there's any public comment.
No, sir.
There's none? Okay, please call the roll.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 50, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the City Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with Section 4-10A of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Home Rule Charter.
So moved.
All right. Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. And not seeing any council discussion. Any public comment?
No, sir.
All right, call the roll.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 1? Motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 51, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reaffirming the Parish Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with Section 4-10B of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Home Rule Charter.
Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman A.B. Rubin. Not seeing any other council discussion at this time. Ms. Williams, any calls?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 1? District 2?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved.
All right. Now we're going to move to introductory ordinances, and I need a motion and a second to introduce in global items 31 and 32.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Carlson and second by Councilman Gilbo. Chairman, can you please read?
Parish Ordinance 20, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the use of prior fund balance in the amount of $5,920 and appropriating within the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer, Juvenile Detention Division, to fund the apprenticeship completion increase for 2 Juvenile Detention Attendant 1 positions. Parish Ordinance 21, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council declaring the building or structure located at 1005 Carmel Drive, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Roy Lee Picard, Darrell James Picard, Michael Wayne Picard, Rocky Romero, and Rusty Romero, care of Gerald J. Block, attorney appointed to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare and ordering the condemnation of same.
Any comments from the public concerning the ordinances?
No, sir.
None? Okay. Not seeing any council discussion, no public comment. Call the vote to introduce in global.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1? District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion to introduce in globo is approved.
Okay, we'll move to joint introductory ordinance at this time. Chairman, can you please read?
Joint Ordinance 52, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the transfer of $200,000 in Community Development Block Grant funds within the Community Development Department to the Housing Loan Program.
Okay, any comments from the public? in that?
No, sir.
Okay, need a motion in a second. Motion to Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. I'm not seeing any council discussion, no public comment. Please call the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to introduce is approved.
Okay, thank you so much. We're going to adjourn the regular parish council